are welcome to the End Time Truth Television, the channel for the lovers of truth, for the truth of the end time. So if you are a lover of truth, give us a subscription and God bless you. Shalom. To so many people, this would have been a very wonderful opportunity, or even a fulfillment of prophecy, having had his pastor a few days ago in a service prophesied to him that he saw wealth coming, big wealth coming. That would have been an opportunity to interpret that to mean the fulfillment of that prophecy, but actually to show that serving God and loving God is a personal thing. He said he never crossed his mind. That was never his money. And that, I tell you, would have been a very big bait for the devil. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. God bless you today, tomorrow, and always. Without wasting your time, I just want you to watch this video. I'll be back in the middle of the video. God bless you.
Welcome back to the program. We crossed the African continent to Dubai in Asia and then back again to Edo State, Nigeria, all to bring you the story of Abraham Ifeha. He had a good degree and a strong banking background, but he left the shores of Nigeria after losing his job. Born in Onwa West local government area of Edo State, Nigeria, Abraham Ifeha arrived in the United Arab Emirates filled with hope and aspiration for a better life. The end game was to end up in the banking sector, but Abraham took to driving with the company Sharjah Taxi to survive in the short term while waiting to make it big long term. But he was dealt with a heavy blow even as he tried to carry out that plan.
On the first day of my arrival, Terminal 2, precisely Dubai, I was picked up by a friend to my accommodation. I was optimistic that everything will be fine. Everything will be fine. The office, that was on Sunday precisely. It was on Sunday. I went to the office immediately, and I located a room. Following day, I went back to the same office to to officially give them my passport and all that documentation, and we discovered that no money had been paid. My license fee, none had been paid, and I gave my friend 8,500 dirham, which is like 850,000 in Nigeria currency. None was paid, and the company said, "Cannot proceed with my driver license because you pay your license yourself without paying anything." The person who gave the money to became it. He was taking us here. We took him to the police actually. Police said the transaction was done in Nigeria, so nothing could be done about it. Till today, that money was gone. It was a very bitter experience.
Confused, bewildered, and almost broke, Abraham tells us he fell back on two things: his faith in God and determination to feed his family. Then one day he found 100,000 dirham in his taxi.
To so many people, this would have been a very wonderful opportunity, or even a fulfillment of prophecy, having had his pastor a few days ago in a service prophesied to him that he saw wealth coming, big wealth coming. That would have been an opportunity to interpret that to mean the fulfillment of that prophecy, but actually to show that serving God and loving God is a personal thing. He said he never crossed his mind. That was never his money. And that, I tell you, would have been a very big bait for the devil.
A week before that day, my church, the local church here in the UAE, my pastor told me, I said, I see being wealthy. Like, he said it, like, he brought me out in the church, like, he prayed, and like, I see being wealthy, stuff like that. On Wednesday of it, behold, money in my car, forgotten by a customer whom I dropped. I just opened, that was on the 8th of December, around 5 p.m. Picked him up, dropped him. took a U-turn. So 100 meters after, I pick another customer going to another destination. Then I found a little bag, the back of my seat. I opened it and I saw an envelope. Envelope again. I opened the envelope again. I saw 2 packs of 500 around 100 pieces, 200 pieces altogether. That was 100,000.
Ironically, he wondered if the money he found was the breakthrough the family so desperately needed.
I said, "Go and give him back the money. That's not your money." I never thought it twice. I didn't try to fight the minds. The first person I talked to was my wife.
For me, this is one part of the story that interests me so much. He said the first person he spoke with was his wife. And then it will interest you to know what the wife did. Did the wife ask him to bring the money home, knowing fully well that that would go a long way to aid their financial status? 100,000 dirham is about 15 million naira in Nigeria, which will go a long way to offset some bills and even establish a very nice business. What did the woman say?
I just chatted up. "Babe, see you." She said, "Look for the customer and give him the money back."
That phone call he made to his wife led us to seek out this woman who put the virtue of honesty before wealth. Our cameras travelled from Dubai in Asia back to Edo State in the south of Nigeria, where we found the modest home of the Ifahas. Mrs. Joy Ifaha lets us into the story of what life has been like since Abraham left for the UAE.
So we got married April 7th, 2012. He left the country 2019, December 10th precisely. Wow, it has not been easy. So we're managing, thank God for the GSM. That's what we're using to communicate. So we communicate daily at interval.
Talking about influence as well, it is very, very important that also we know the people that we have in our lives. There are people that played good roles in the life of this young man, and for him to have taken this right and very rare decision. And I want to talk about his wife. You see, for so many, 100,000 is about 15 million naira in Nigeria. And you can imagine a woman, her husband has left for about 2 years or thereabout, left in Nigeria, and knew very well that her husband is doing the job that he wouldn't probably have done in Nigeria. Now he's doing it abroad there, and knowing what 50 million naira would have done for them, and 50 million naira would have been enough for the husband to come back and start something here in Nigeria. But she encouraged the husband not to take it. It is a challenge to you as a partner, as a wife, as a husband, as a brother, as a sister. What advice would you give to a person close to you if he happens to come in contact with this kind of opportunity? Would you encourage him or her to return it because it is not yours? You can imagine what would have happened if the woman put pressure on him and then he begins to have doubt about what he had decided to do. Kudos to good women.
Mrs. Ifaha says Abraham would never do anything illegal to get ahead, and this point is reiterated by his older brother Abe. He has fond memories of their mother and her counsel to them to be honest. He tells Abraham not to be distracted and to ignore those who mock him for returning the money.
And finally, I'm not going to, stop, or I'm not going to end this video without recognizing his upbringing. Upbringing matters a lot. There is a story of a young child here who went out to hawk granuts, to sell granuts. And at the end of his selling, now, luckily for him, he wandered into a place where some group of people were playing football. And it happened that some dignitaries were there, a bank manager and some other friends, were seated. And they were the people that called the young boy of about 7-8 years, talk about what children are going through in this part of the world. And so the big men bought the granite, they emptied the boy's tray pan. And so when they asked him to calculate and give them the amount, their bill, he told them it was 2,100 naira. And the bank manager dipped his hand in his pocket and gave the boy 10,000. The boy said, "No, that what he needed was 2,100. And the man said, yeah, I know, but I give you this. The little boy insisted that his mother would deal with him because he wouldn't be able to account for the extra 7,900. So the boy insisted that all he needed was his 2,100. And they were impressed. They were impressed and they sent for the mother. And the mother was like, hope nothing wrong has happened. She went and they narrated to her what took place and what happened. Guess what happened? The bank manager decided to offer that little boy scholarship from whatever class he was at till he finishes. Now, this is the story I just need to tell you, that also the influence of their mother, was great. You can hear his elder brother saying, bearing witness to that effect here.
Remember what our mom used to tell us: don't take what does not belong to you. Take by it. And have it in mind, one day, honesty will pay. It's always pay. For those who are discouraging him, well, let them be. You're a man, because I do call you my boy. My boy, always do the needful. If you just don't those one are telling you that the money you have taken the money. No, it's to them. You're a man of yourself. Always be doing good and make us proud.
And even he himself, Mr. Abraham, attested to that part of what influenced his decisions and his way of life, apart from the fact that he is a Christian who has decided to devote his time to God, his upbringing mattered as well.
There's so many people who leave Nigeria seeking greener pastures but end up in crime, end up, despite the fact that they have difficult situations, right? They use that as an excuse to perpetrate crime and even tarnish the image of the country. In the UAE, for instance, we know that there's some Nigerians who are not representing the country well. What would you like to tell such people?
One thing I know, upbringing matters a lot. And upbringing, your group, your association matters a lot. Who influences you, who do you listen to, matters a lot. Well, let's say people of my background as a banker, or my upbringing actually. We grew up be contented with whatever we have.
This is the same message that rings on the lips of the Ifaha's 7-year-old son. He tells us boldly what his father has taught him.
I am proud of my daddy, and I believe that the Nigerians are going to learn from what he has done.
Abraham has a reply for skeptics and those who say he returned the money because he knows his company could have installed hidden cameras in the taxi.
There's no camera in the car. If peradventure want to be taken off, it's just between me and God. Yeah, there was no tricks, but just it doesn't. I can't think. I see it as stealing, big stealing. And I get the money back, and I told him, be careful next time.
And then what has happened since that day?
So I wrote a following day, called my office. Look at what happened between your driver and the customer. Office called me again. What happened between you and the customer? I explained everything. Like, you saw 100,000 and you returned to the customer. I said, of course, boss. Is it my money? It's not my money. Well, like, thank you. I said, okay, God bless you. And I left, continued my work again. Until the 14th of December, they called me and gave me a certificate of honesty and a 500 dirham award. 500. Let me call the amount. It's the truth. I went back to my duty post as usual, but it has not been easy with insult. I've been insulted. Not even this. It has been. Sometimes I pick some customers. I was like, yes, guy, how are you? Is it fine? You're in Nigeria, yeah. How you see this funny guy that returned the 100,000? So I say that guy is a fool. So I have been humiliated a lot. Yeah. Only few will say you did well. Only few will say you did well. But a lot of people criticize. I was like, what has being honest become a crime?
We asked Mrs. Ifaha what she desires for the family now that her husband has received such recognition.
My greatest wish is for him to have a better opportunity and a better job over there, because that taxi job is so stressful. My husband, I know no company or anything, that assignment that is being given to, that will not be able to deliver well. He works hard, he's diligent in his working, and he's very truthful.
And for Abraham,
what would you like?
Chinese woman, you asked me a very funny question though. You know what I want? You know what I would love to have? Money too.
It might look like now nothing is happening. Like he said, people have been abusing him and calling him fool. And that tells you, the Bible says, my son, when sinners entice thee, consent thou not. And in the other verse, it says, follow not multitude to do evil. He has decided to stand out, and I'm so happy and proud of this young man. That has gone a very long way to establish the fact that I know, just like Elijah was telling God that he was the only person standing, and God said, no, you are not the only person. I still have reserved to myself 7,000 knees that have not bowed themselves to Baal nor kissed Astaroth. Now, this is a proof that not all Nigerians are corrupt. Not all Nigerians are thieves and criminals. We've had so many that have gone out and have given every other Nigerian a bad name. But this is a very good image laundering for some of us who still believe that honesty pays. And the fact is that, you see, I don't want to talk about the prophecy because the pastor may have seen well. And just watch out for this young man and see what he becomes in the future. You see, if people have been abusing him for doing what he did, just watch out. And you will see that this was a test that God allowed come his way as a child of God, and he passed. And this has opened ways of financial promotion and otherwise. In no due time at all, you can imagine him being given a certificate of honesty in a foreign land, a land like that in the UAE. That is wonderful. And so I am proud of this brother. I am so proud of you, brother. Well done.
Abraham encourages others to demonstrate the core values of honesty, integrity, and patriotism, even if they're not celebrated for demonstrating this sterling disposition in the workplace.
So I want to use this on the final note. I want to ask you to endeavor, try hard enough to see that you give your children, let's give our children that morality standard of life that will aid them tomorrow, even when you are no longer there. That will make them better citizens of the world and their nations at large. God bless you. I'll be seeing you in the next video. Till then, from me to you, shalom.